Peace, y'all. Welcome to Detroit City. Sunday, got my coffee. I'm ready to chat. We talking about today. Well, since I'm old man, I can start this off. I think this like last week. I came across something interesting called the Ogoh Ogoh Festival. I think I'm pronouncing it right. So apparently, this festival, and I want to say this is somewhere in India. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me. Please correct me. 'Cause I hate being wrong about geography and things like that. Um, Normally, I wouldn't even speak on it if I'm not sure, but I'm, I'm going to check the video, but it's still not going to tell me much. It'll come back to me as I'm watching it. But anyway, this festival, they create these paper mache like demons or spirits to chase away negative spirits. Sounds crazy, right? You know, we have our parades and we have the big floats, and even those look creepy sometimes. Like it might be a big SpongeBob or a big whatever. Yeah, they got them like that, but they look like different forms of demons, and they do this to ward off negative spirits, and this symbolizes new beginnings and all of these different things. And I'm like, what a time for this festival to be happening, and the figures that they seen. I mean, that they showing or that they're creating very creative, very lifelike, and somebody like me, it makes me wonder, like, yo, have you seen this before? This, you know what I'm saying? Like, have your ancestors left pictures of this shit, or there's legend? You know, of course, there's always legends of like we have skinwalkers, chupacabra, and all of these different mythic creatures, lores that we share even to this day. That my children even, hey, daddy, have you ever heard of this, the tall man, and all? So all of this stuff is regurgitated, but I've never in my 46 years ever heard of a Ogoh Ogoh festival, yet alone seen some of these creatures. But when I seen them, I didn't necessarily feel like creature because it was one the particular video I'm going to show in a second. It said in the caption "Supreme Siddi," and of course that caught my eye because my channel is Detroit City, same exact spelling, and I'm sure it means the same thing because, like I say, this is of Indian origin. This festival, and of course, City is of Indian origin. So, this Supreme City, I'm looking, and it looks like a grotesque older black man almost. It looks like I've seen people that look like this. You know, I've like somebody does a caricature of someone when they draw it on the street and they accentuate their over accentuate their teeth and their face, their nose, or whatever feature about you. That's what a lot of these entities look like. But this one in particular, I was like, yo, hmm. It made me start thinking back to the lessons like the black man is God. And we were living for a long ass time. So a lot of those continents, when they got to bear witness to the original gods, some like we always say, you a demon to some, you an angel to some. You know how you never know how somebody is going to depict you. But let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Real interesting. You see what I'm talking about? That's wild, right? Now think about it. Like, remember when JJ drew Ned the wino and it was like, yeah, eyes red like fire, dark skin, almost like a charcoal, ashy black, from the jewelry, the rings to I don't know. I mean, some people might see something else like I don't see no black man. That motherfucker like a demon. But you gotta remember, There was a time they was depicting us as demons, bro. Our noses and everything the same way. Uh, every culture that went through that, where you a devil to someone, they're going to depict you in a way where they're going to over accentuate your features. And I find it even more not suspicious, but just interesting that if that was the case, that these are the entities that you use to chase out evil spirits. The same way I had a daydream the other day that at some point, not necessarily with a disclosure, but at some point, they're going to try to convince us that some of our visitors are demons, right? Why would they want to do that? Why would you just come out all of a sudden when you've been having dealings with a lot of different visitors, but now they're demons? That's to throw you off or something. You know what I mean? To my point, there would be some that would be allies, but if you already see him as an enemy, then you're not going to, you know what I mean? You already have in your mindset set because of how it looks that it's going to function based on your fears. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever these alien movies we've watched so many goddamn movies, but I don't think we scared of nothing really. That if it appears and it's grotesque and it is scary, it could be we done seen Alien with the acid blood, so it's like until it harms us, that's really when we like, oh shit. Other than that, just looking at this, I think we actually waiting for it. A lot of us is waiting to see some shit. You know, we're just tired of the speculation, tired of the talking about it. But that right there, just that piqued my interest very much so because I have a vivid imagination. So when I was studying 120, when we was going through the lessons, that's how I used to see the gods, like older black men who've been around forever, would who wisdom exceed things. And you wouldn't because we used to dealing with a spook god, or we used to dealing with a mystery god, we can't imagine what God would look, or a lot of us who is in religion, we can't imagine what God would look like. You know what I'm saying? And how God looks as God gets old. You know what I mean? You from the time you 7 to 14 to 21, and as you keep growing and you gaining more wisdom, you start to age. Like, you know what I mean? And the longer you be here, your features are going to take. You may have a more stern look, you know, but yeah, I thought I'd just build on that, share that because I thought that was very interesting that it was Supreme Siddhi, Maha Siddhi. You know what I mean? And if Siddhi means accomplish mastery, then that's the supreme master. That's that's very much on point with my thought about what that is or who that is and who it relates to. So if you know anything about the original man in India prior to the caste system, and even with the caste system, it's always been original people beefing with original people. You know, the labels that we put on ourselves to kind of separate ourselves from other people. Like even if it's just I'm fresh and you not. That's always been the thing. I'm rambling, y'all. Old man shit. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace. This is Detroit City.